I'm going to be going live on there. You eat full meals at night? I wish I could share. I wish I could share. Go. Okay, I'm going to check out. So I'm live on YouTube, you guys. I'm just making sure everything is smooth sailings. Heading over there now. I'm going to check myself, see if it's working. I think so. Okay, yeah. Looks like everything's good. I guess I'm live. I'm live on YouTube. So guys should go over there to YouTube, watch my live on there, because you're going to be able to read all of the stories that we're reading tonight. So I'm going to hang out with you guys for a little bit on TikTok, but I really, really hope that you join us over there on the YouTube side. Heading over to the comments. Hi, Victor. Thank you for hopping over here. All right, so I'm over here. I'm going to read a couple of stories. I know. I went to Costco and there's like trail mix. I'm a snacker at night. I shouldn't be a snacker at night. Save me. I need to stop snacking. Okay. Reading the first scary story. Again, you should really head over to my YouTube side. That way you can see what I'm reading, right? Okay, so this one says, I really need other people's opinion on this. I think there's a ghost demon in my house. Here's a little backstory on what happened in this house before I get into the scary part. We are the first owners of this new house in a previous farm town in Idaho. Ever since we moved here, we had weird paranormal things happen. Every night at 3 a.m., I stay up late and I hear someone walk up and down the hallway, and the noise just stops at my door. I think, oh, it's a ghost messing with me, no big deal. A week ago at 3 a.m., I hear someone walking and ruffling through the items that I hear upstairs, like an angrily searching for something type of thing. And all my things are in different places when I go up there. Then, a few nights ago, I was on FaceTime. I was on FaceTime right at 3 a.m. My iPad files off the table. My iPad flies off the table and hits the ground. Of course, I get scared, but I just knew it was the ghost and continue on with my night. Now, here's a real scary part that I cannot wrap my head around. I was napping for an hour at 10 p.m. and I started dreaming, but it wasn't like a regular dream. I was outside my body and looking at myself laying on the bed. When I dream, I never know I'm dreaming, but I was fully aware of everything. I still had my memories and thoughts. I could hear my parents downstairs watching TV and my sugar gliders making noise in the other room. I then look to the other side of my bed and I see this huge dark shadow watching my body sleep. Oh my God, chills. So I freak out and try to climb back into my body to try and wake up, but every time I tried to the shadow, every time I tried to, the shadow would rip me out and throw me away from it. So after trying a few more times, I walked downstairs to my parents and try and get their attention. But every time I would try and touch them, my hand would go through them like a ghost. So I panicked even more. I ran upstairs back to my body and tried again. And again, I was thrown out. So I grabbed my cross necklace I was wearing and prayed to God to please help me get out of here. And I shoot awake. Now here is a weird part I cannot explain and makes me think it wasn't a dream. While I was sleeping, my parents took their nightly showers and changed into their new clothes. And when I was dreaming, I saw the new clothes they were wearing. When I woke up and saw them, they're wearing the same exact thing. How would I know what they changed into if I didn't see it before I slept? Then, when I told my parents my dream, they said the dog started going crazy and growling randomly when he was dead asleep. Around the same time, I was down there in my dream trying to get their attention, like he saw me. My mind immediately went to the movie Insidious, where the kid couldn't get back into his body, and now I'm too scared to sleep in my own house. Has anyone else experienced something like this? I'm going to sage my house today, too, so hopefully that helps. Oh my gosh. Victor says, oh, thank you, Victor, for the compliment. What's with the demons in 3 a.m.? Don't they have better things to do? I know, Victor. I feel like they would have better things to do. Like, what? And it does sound like astral projection. And I'm glad that they brought up Insidious because I kept thinking about that too. I was like, no, there's this is definitely an Insidious thing. Like, I'm like because the movie just came out, so I was like, they're probably inspired by that. I don't know. But what I did find interesting, let me go back to the top. Yeah, it was a 3 a.m. thing. See, here's my thing. I feel like hauntings don't always happen at 3 a.m. I think it's like a sensationalized thing that people assume that like all hauntings happen at that time. But yeah, no, I feel like hauntings, I've had hauntings happen in different times. When my mom's experienced hauntings, it's been either like in the day or night. I was listening to this podcast, Ghost Magnet, and I was listening to like Bridget interview Kalani. He's like a live streamer ghost hunter. I'm sure some of you guys might have seen him on here. And he talks about how like his hauntings are never at like, I mean, they happen, but like it's not a common thing that it's at 3 a.m. So that is very interesting that like a lot of people always write about the 3 a.m. thing because I don't know. I feel like yeah, I think hauntings happen in different times, right? Okay, guys, for those of you joining my live, I'm live over here on YouTube. So I really recommend that you guys head over there. I would love to do more lives over there. Plus, you can see everything in a better way. I have a better mic set up. I have the stories on there that I'm reading off of. You can also see Johnny behind me. So there's all kinds of fun. It's a better view. It's better experience. But I'm gonna be on live for on the tube right now. Yeah, I feel like ghosts, like that's a misconception. Like spirits don't just like haunt at night, especially like at 3 a.m. I don't know. I'm not buying that. I don't think that's not, you know what I mean? It just, no, I think it's a sensationalized thing. Thanks for the likes over here on TikTok. Okay. So I'm gonna upvote it, of course, and then I'm going to, oh yeah, the other thing too. So like saging, so a lot of people have this conception that like saging alone like just cleanses your, hi Crown Girls, thanks for joining me over here on YouTube. So people have like this misconception that like saging your house alone is like enough to like ward off evil things or like things that are not welcomed, but like in some depending on like what you're trying to banish and stuff, like sage is sometimes like an offering, so you have to like follow up with other things, right? Like if you're for example like Latino, like you can use or indigenous, like they use sage, but they also use like um santo palo or palo santo, I mean. And then some people also use salt. There's just like way other things that you can use that I think are way more effective. So yeah, I don't know. Just a thing that I kind of see a lot. That I'm like, I mean, sage is fine, but it doesn't banish anything. It just cleanses the air, you know, or the atmosphere. Okay. We'll go into this one. Okay. So if you are on my TikTok, make sure that you check out my YouTube, join my live over there. It's a lot better experience, better mic, view. You can see what I'm reading, just so you guys know. If the audio is too loud on my YouTube side, please let me know. I will fix that. I'm gonna lower it down just in case. Sorry guys, I don't want it to be too loud. Yes, the words as well. Exactly, the words and intent behind when you are cleansing your stuff. My sister Lorena says my sister had been feeling down lately, missing our sister that passed, and she experienced something. Oh my gosh, really? What happened? Okay. All right. So this is what I'm gonna read. This one is called My Brother Visited Me the Day After He Passed. My younger brother passed away in April, and it was very sudden and tragic. I received a phone call that morning saying he had been shot. So I rushed down to be with my mom, and on the way down, we found out he was DOA. I was shocked and completely torn apart when I arrived there. For context, I live about 2 hours away and had received, I think it's received news of his passing. Yeah, I think they meant to say received news of his passing 20 minutes into that drive. Fast forward to the next day, I spent majority of it crying, remember when he was born, and moments throughout our childhood. That night at around 2 a.m., just as I was dozing off, the next moment I blinked and saw a shadow of a man about his height and build standing in my hallway. That was a little There was a little light casting on part of the face. This next part is a little graphic. I wear glasses and it didn't have mine. I wear glasses and it didn't have mine on. My view was blurry. So my view is blurry. I can make out the lower jaw being mangled and bloody. This, of course, freaked me out, so I closed my eyes. When I opened them back up, the figure was gone. I didn't really know if it was him or my imagination playing tricks on me, and over the next few weeks, the shock wore off, or something in between grieving. I was having vivid dreams of him. He would visit and talk to me about the good times and our shared experiences, and that was very therapeutic. Since his death was ruled out as homicide and there was an open investigation, we really didn't have much details other than him being shot. About a month in his death, they caught and charged the man responsible. Graphic. Details soon come out about where he was shot. He was shot in the face, neck, and body, so now I know for a fact it was him. Now I'm contemplating constantly, why did he visit that night? Was he trying to tell me something? I miss him like crazy and just want to share my story with those that might understand. Oh my god, I feel so bad for her. I really, really do. It's on Reddit. Yeah, it's the Ghost Story threads. If anyone's joining, I'm live over on YouTube. I really would love it if you guys can join me on the YouTube side because I have a better mic, better view, and you can see what I'm reading as well. But yeah, oh my god, this is very sad. Okay, so first I want to say, like, she asked this question of, like, why was she visited by her brother? I really think that, he just wanted to say bye. He was checking in on her. You know what I mean? I think that is normal. My husband has told me a story about his grandmother and how he believes that she also said goodbye to him. I've heard stories of, like, people being visited by loved ones in their dreams as well. And I think it's not like, I think it's a common thing. I think, like, I truly believe our loved ones do say goodbye to us when they can and if we're open to it. So let's see. Someone says, I'm terribly sorry. Him visiting you, though graphic for you to see, hopefully gives you some comfort knowing his spirit is alive and you will see him again. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It just changes forms. Peace to you and your brother. Oh, that was very sweet. So yeah, people are just giving, like, their condolences and stuff. Yeah, I'm glad they caught the person too. But yeah. Okay, Lorena on TikTok. My sister has been feeling down. Oh, sorry. She was walking towards her room and the door was opening and closing by itself. No one else was home, and I like to believe it was a good sign, but I don't understand. Every time I dream of my sister, it's good. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's hard to say when someone isn't there, but if you're experiencing, like, bursts of energy in the house, could be poltergeist, could be like a manifestation of wanting to have a connection, could be your sister also reliving certain things. It's tough to say, but I'm really sorry to hear that. And Victor says, sometimes when you pass, you are not aware, so he probably went to a place he felt safe. Yep, which is with his sister. Exactly. No, that's a good point. Yeah, I feel like sometimes we just gravitate definitely towards places where we feel very safe. I'm, like, just chewing on food again. Okay, I'm going to read this one, but I need to take a swig of water. Okay, so yeah, sorry guys. I'm gonna make another announcement. I don't mean to be annoying about it, but please join me over on the YouTube side. I trust it's gonna be a better experience. I'm also going to be doing, I actually have a question for you guys that I'm on live stream. Would it be better? So on this YouTube, I've been posting some videos. Like, I did a couple of videos of, like, ghosts in the deep sea, because, like, the whole thing with, like, the submarine, the Titanic, I did that video. I did a video on, like, the Duende and, like, thoughts on that. Now, I am going to do another video. I also did the Insidious. I did my thoughts on that movie. And also, for context, this psychic medium did a crowd read when we went to the screening, and that was really interesting. I have footage on that as well. But with all of these stories, the reason why I'm naming all these things is because I'm giving you an idea of what I've done. So my other thing is I want to do like I don't know if I should do a watch party, like do a live stream and watch movies and make commentary. So some of you guys know this already. Like, so I'm a psychic medium, and like me and my husband, we do like a psychic development group here in LA. And I've been really thinking about like doing kind of like watching paranormal horror movies and like kind of giving my thoughts on like could this really happen or how would you protect yourself, like kind of give advice and tips as like we watch these movies. And so I'm curious, would that be better as just like a YouTube video on its own or like a live stream and like watch party style where like we're like right now if you're on my YouTube you can see half the screen of like what we're referring to, and then you see me on the other side. I don't know. I think there's some stuff that I want to share because I feel like a lot of people use scary movies as like a reference or like a source for like like this stuff can happen or yeah, I saw this in a movie. You know what I mean? Like misinformation. And like while I love scary movies, they're not always as accurate at depicting like paranormal stuff. I mean, sometimes yes, sometimes no. And so that's why I'm like, I don't know, would it be better to do like a watch party? Um, Poetic. Just as a dog, animals can tell emotions even from a ghost. We can't always feel exactly. Yeah, thank you for that poetic equation. So yeah, I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are because I think I might just do. Yeah, yeah, Victor. Okay, so yeah, maybe like a watch party or something. Okay, yeah, maybe I can do a couple of those with like watch parties and like talk about it. I feel like Insidious is a great one. I just like that is definitely like a psychic medium thing. And if you guys haven't watched the latest film, I'm not going to spoil it for you guys, but what I will say in general of the franchise and what I love about the franchise, I was having like dinner with my friends about this and I was like kind of giving my thoughts on it. Can you tell us what they horror movies get right? Well, okay, so in a nutshell, I definitely feel like uh well, in the case of like Insidious, right? I think bursts of energy can happen. I feel like definitely, there's spirits that are not rested that can come visit you. I feel like astral projection is a thing as well. That's definitely something that like if you're very sensitive to spirits and mediumship, you can I mean everyone can astral project, everyone I believe everyone's a psychic medium or has abilities, but you can if you are very sensitive, you can definitely open yourself up to a lot of things. So like I have a few family members that are dreamers, and so some of them have used like protections like having crystals by their bed, doing some type of protection with incense or cleansing or anything like that before going to bed. So like when they are asleep, they feel like nothing can come and take them. So that's kind of like something that I would say is like realistic, like astral projection and feeling like you can be stuck somewhere. I don't know about to the point of a coma. I mean, I don't know, maybe. But again, that's like all I want to do like a whole video on it so like we can have discussions. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I definitely like interacting and having like a real conversation in real time. Hi B Sorry, did I say hi? Hi Beyond XX. Um Yeah, no, I definitely thank you for that feedback. For those of you that are joining my live, I'm live on YouTube and you can see everything on there. So if you want to join me on there, I really recommend it. Better experience. Also, if I do the watch parties, I'm probably going to move my watch parties to YouTube because it's just like a lot more intuitive, I feel like. No pun intended. Intuitive, no pun intended. Okay, so I'm going to read the next story. So this one is called Ghost in Family Home. Not sure exactly how to handle this. Hi, all. I live with my family mom, dad, two sisters, and myself. Recently moved into this house, and it just never felt right from the start. The house is always cold, and it's an older house built in the late 1800s, I believe. Anyway, at night, I've been hearing strange noises occasionally at night, and it's pretty disturbing. My sisters and I are typically in bed about 10 p.m., and it begins not even 15 minutes after we've gone to bed. Lasts anywhere from a few seconds to a minute tops down the hall near my parents' bedroom. It's the moan of a woman mostly, but sometimes heavy male grunting and breathing. Occasionally, the woman screams for God, so it must not be an evil entity. Although, randomly, the other night, it said to put it in my ass. I'm really freaked out and I don't know what to do. I've watched The Conjuring and don't want my family to end up possessed. What is up with all these Patrick Wilson movies? You guys, Patrick Wilson is like on all these big franchises. um, and I just said all these funny things out loud. Yeah, Ricky, thank you for that feedback. Ricky says you should do watch parties and then edit them into highlight videos. Thank you, Ricky, for that. Oh, thank you, Victor. Okay, so do you feel like they always cut short? Lorena says, do you feel like they always cut short horror films nowadays? You know, okay, so I haven't been up to date with the writer strike. After this, I'm probably going to keep myself up to date, to be honest with you. Shame on me. But I feel, I don't know about you guys, but if you were born in the 90s or you've watched TV in the 90s or consume shows from like 90s all the way to the 2010s, I feel like a lot of shows lasted longer and they were better written. And it's not like I'm being like, oh, things are good back then. No, I just think that like because of the fact that television and streaming services has made everything so fast paced, I don't feel like you never see shows that last long enough where you feel connected to the characters. So like let's like name a couple things like How I Met Your Mother. I don't really like Friends, but like Friends, right? Like it exploded the way it did because when you're watching a TV show and you're tuning in on a weekly basis for months, for years, you feel like you're connected to this character and you're invested in the storyline, and you just don't see that nearly as much. And I think that also translates to movies. I feel like movies are a lot shorter. For example, I was watching Salem's Lot, and the 80s version, of course. I think there's a new one coming out soon. And that was like the 3-hour film. And me and my husband watched it and it was really good. But I mean, when's the last time you heard of a film lasting unless it's like a superhero movie? You know what I mean? And I think that like there are some movies that could easily last a long time, but not we, but like in general, like the entertainment industry, a lot of it is pushed towards like superhero films. And it's really unfortunate because like, and I know this is like not scary, but I think about like the 90s, that is it that 90s show? And most people liked it because, it had Red and Kitty, the parents, Eric's parents from that 70s show. And it's like it didn't have the same vibe. Like they're not going to be able to capture like the inside jokes, like because as an audience we feel like invested into a character enough that when they do inside jokes we're like, oh yeah, years of watching this, we get it. I don't think we see that enough with shows and movies nowadays. um Sorry, I know that's like a long answer. Poetic equation, yes, they're not run the same way, they lack so much depth. And I mean, that's why I'm glad to see that there is a writer's strike, because they're not being paid fairly or treated fairly, and it's translating in television. I mean, there's a lot of shows that just don't hit the same. And yeah, we can make the argument that like there's so many streaming services, but I mean, when was the last time something was written well, really well, that we felt invested, like really invested, and it wasn't just like a trend for that couple of months? Oh my god, that's so funny. That is so funny. Okay. Victor says they're prioritizing quantity over quality in shows and movies. Exactly. Plus, there are thousands of books that haven't been made in media that could be made into movies or shows. Exactly. And I feel like we used to do that so much. There used to be a lot of books that would get translated into film, and it doesn't happen. I mean, I still think you need a writer, of course, because you need a writer that's going to want to translate that very well. But yeah, and thank you. There's 5 people on my YouTube live. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Um, yeah, so if you guys have not checked out my YouTube live, please do. You can see everything, like better view, mic, and you can see what I'm reading. Um, I'm gonna upvote this. Okay, so there's a thing in this story where she says, or where they say, the woman must not be evil because they're screaming for God. Now, here's the thing. I think that this is my hot take when it comes to like haunted things and the paranormal, I think while there's misunderstood entities and spirits, I don't yeah, there's things that could be evil, but I feel like a lot of tragedy is what causes, like, a lot of residual energy, at least in my perception, and, even if, like, let's just say you were living in a house where things were being moved, sometimes that is heavily, like, residual energy or, like, poltergeists, and poltergeists, a lot of a sector of that can be, like, self-manifested energy. So, just because something is misunderstood does not make it evil is what I've learned along the way as well. So that's just, like, my other hot take. Yes, Poetic says, "Not just that, if you are the writer, they have the ability to change your story uh, to fit a demographic, not the plot. That's one of the frightening truths people don't realize. Not all ghosts are human." Yes. So, yeah, there's a lot of, like, misunderstood stuff on it. I think even if, like, they were screaming for God, it doesn't I don't think that's, like, enough substance to say yes, nay, or yay on something, but that's just my hot take on it. Um, okay, here's another one. Slightly scared of being home alone now. I begin by saying that I've never believed in the paranormal. I've always joked about ghosts in my house as it creaks and the lights often flicker, but I think after today there may be really one. I woke up this morning at around 6:40, entered my living room and then sat on the couch falling back asleep. I'm awoken at 8 on the dot to a very clear voice telling me, "You need to move," followed by what feels like someone slipping a hand beneath my body as if to pick me up. I turned around, saw no one, nothing at all. I have upstairs neighbors, but there was absolutely no way I would be able to have heard them this clearly. This was a voice I've never heard before. I have two urns in my house, but this voice does not belong to either of its inhabitants. I've been alone all day. I know nothing of the paranormal or if this is even an event of that sort. I'm still shocked by this. Okay, that is very interesting. Shall we go to the comment section? So maybe it could be hypnopompic. I'm not saying this correctly. I'm sorry for those of you on my YouTube. You were seeing how bad I'm reading this. Hallucinations. I think you'll find it interesting. I think, yeah, I think like if you're half asleep, you could be susceptible to hallucinations, like as if you're coming out of sleep. But I don't know. I think like let's be real though. Like how many times have we? And this is just like an actual real question. How many times have we like been asleep and coming off our dreams, we hallucinate? Like how often does that happen? Really? Like when you're coming off it, is it common? I mean, I don't wouldn't know. I'm just curiosity. How often does I don't think it really happens as often. Like I know that when we're coming awake, we're coming awake. You know what I mean? I don't know. Well, hi Sarah. Yeah, it could be yeah. Okay, there are thousands of books that haven't been made immediate. Okay. Oh, sorry. Victor says, could it be a mentally ill person that doesn't go away and passing over? Yeah, it could be. For the voice, you may have heard the neighbors. Yeah, it could be. I mean, that's another take too. Like, where do they live? Do they live in a townhome? Do they live in an apartment? Like, what's the gist of this? Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like, for every logical reasoning, there's also like, how many times do we hallucinate sounds though? You know? I don't know if that's really that often. No worries, Lorena. We are so if you join me over on YouTube, you can see the stories I'm reading. You have a better view of my of the camera, but if not, that's if not, no worries. But we're reading ghost stories. Personally, I've never had that happen. I've gone 24 hours without sleeping and seen some stuff. I will admit I've done that too, where I've done like I pulled an all-nighter before and I've been like awake and I'm like very jumpy. Okay, that I do resonate with. It's okay, it's Lorena. Thank you for sharing. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Um, I'll still upvote it. I like to upvote everything that I read. Um, but yeah. So someone says my thoughts were the same. So Ghost is looking out for you so far. And then someone says my thoughts were the same first instinct. Oh, I've only ever been warned through paranormal means when something could have seriously happened, like move could easily mean. If you don't suddenly wake up and your heart beats faster, you're going to die from a rare and avoidable aneurysm or something like that. Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay. So I have heard of this theory before. Um, hi. Hi, Acantha. Did I say that correctly? I hope I did. Um, yeah, I mean, okay, I have heard of that. So I've mentioned the story so far a lot, and I'm sorry for it. But those of you that know, you know. I've talked about how my sister, her voice was mimicked by a spirit, and I have two sisters. My sister, there was a sister of mine. We both witnessed that. Now, I have been told a theory that perhaps the reason why something mimicked my sister's voice was as like to look out after her. You know what I mean? So that could be a thing too. Yes, I can see where you're coming from. Hi, Lorena. Thanks for coming from TikTok. You guys are so awesome. Seriously, you guys have made my night. Um, better real tears with a real friends than fake. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Poetic Equation, for that. Okay, so moving on to a different story. Okay, the most convincing ghost video I've ever seen, but I need help finding it again. I've been fascinated by the paranormal since I was a kid, and I've seen countless videos, but this one will always stick out in my mind. Maybe someone here also remembers it and can help me find it. Can we help them find it? It was uploaded to YouTube around 2010, and the title, I'm pretty sure, was Ghost Watches Me Sleep. The uploader stated via text on the screen that they have been experiencing activity as they slept. So, set up a night vision camera on their bedside table facing their open door. What proceeded next, amidst a backdrop of creepy music, was around 8 minutes of an apparition with a skeletal face materializing out of the darkness, swaying back and forth and sometimes fading back into the darkness, but then appearing again clear as day. Despite the grainy nature of the camera, it was possible to make out many features of the ghost. It even it even seemed like it was wearing a suit at times. This video had a profound impact on my young self, and I've always found myself coming back to it over the years. I've always regarded it as the most convincing evidence of the paranormal I've ever found. Unfortunately, despite ages of searching, I haven't been able to find it again for years, and fear it's been deleted or buried by the new algorithms. Can anyone here help me find it? I think the uploader's name was Morph God or something along those lines. His only other videos were some Modern Warfare 2 gameplays, and the video itself probably only got around 10 to 15,000 views, if I was to remember correctly. Does anyone remember it? I would love to find it again and post it here on the sub. Shall we click into it? I'm scared. Well, oh, it's not loading. Okay, never mind. um, all right, I don't know. I feel like Brenda says, I feel like I hallucinate sounds a bit often, like someone calling my name when they didn't. Oh, okay. So, do you feel like when you're like sleeping and you're coming off your sleep, like you hallucinate sounds? Um, let's see if I can I share this? Share this tab. Okay, share this tab instead. Is it working? Can you guys see it? I'm scared. um, it's like taking forever to load. Like the anticipation, you guys. What is happening here? Um,
It was dark, and the only light.
no, this is not the video. Guys, I'm getting fucking creeped out. Oh, what are we doing here? Okay, if you guys are not on my YouTube, you should go to my YouTube to at least see this, because we're watching this video that someone like put on Reddit, and it's already freaking me out. Like my eyes are watering. um, I can't do this. I'm sorry. I can't. I don't know, but it scared me. So I couldn't do it. I'm like pitting out. I just like got scared. Like I saw the woman sleeping and it already creeped me out. Did Johnny move? Oh, sorry, that was loud. Was that? Did Johnny move? Can we hear that? What the heck is that noise? Oh, fuck no. It's still playing. Did I not stop it? I stopped it. Okay, no. Whoa. Okay. Don't know what happened. Did you guys see that? Like, I'm no longer sharing a screen. What the heck? What happened? Why did it do that? Okay, let's see. Let me add in that window again because what the heck? What the heck? Okay, fun stuff. I just, that was scary. I'm sorry, I like screamed so loud. Did I? I guess. Okay, so I'm trying to add back at the screen to share, and it's like not letting me. That was so funny. I'm like, what is happening? Okay, here we go. There it is. There it is. Okay, I don't know what happened. That was weird. Oops. Trying to add it on here. There we go. Yay. That was weird. Yay. The video was playing by itself and then like everything just stopped. It was buffering. Was with the screen buffering. Oh my god, that was weird. See, this is why we don't. I'm also yes, I'm live on YouTube and that was weird. Yeah. Okay, Steph, the last time I was creeped out was when I was sleeping and something whispered mom in my ear and I thought it was my daughter, but she was downstairs in the kitchen. What? Oh my, how many times was that the one and only time that happened or did it happen like multiple times? Hi. Hi says I can literally feel the energy. Yeah, I was freaking out. Thank you, Joseph, for freaking us out. There is a way to search. Okay, so we'll just like I'll just upvote it and then like go back whenever they update it because well, this better not be a jump scare. Okay, so this one says, can someone please debunk this? I don't want to sleep on the couch. What are we looking at? Do you see it? Huh. Okay, so it looks like there was like a cloaked figure. I don't know. That was weird. All right, so there's all these videos now. I'm just trying to read the stories. All right, so this one is very short. It says, what does it mean to have a dream with a ghost in it? And also let me know if like the music is too loud because I don't want it to be that loud and you guys can't hear me. What does it mean to have a dream with a ghost in it? So last night I had a dream where every time my dad came home from work, he would talk about seeing a ghost. So eventually I went with him, myself, my dad, and another guy, and a professional all had cameras, and we were panning across woods, across a river. We all found a ghost in it, and I zoomed in on it, and I started levitating across the river too, and disappeared once it got to us. After a minute, it moved back across the river and back into the woods. The professional said it had a happy expression. The expression was two holes for eyes and a big hole for a mouth. Anyway, does anyone know what this dream may mean? It's also weird because my dad in real life doesn't believe in ghosts. People are so mean sometimes on Reddit. This person says, you've been doom scrolling the ghost subreddit too long. Damn. Okay, well, I'll be nice and upvote it. Found a new, okay, nope. What is your take on, okay, nope. Anyone out here? Okay, this is good. This one sounds a little bit more, wait, what do you see? Brenda says, a few days ago, my sister, my cousin, and I on a FaceTime call. My sister and I clearly heard a man's voice calling my cousin's name, but he said he didn't hear anything and that everyone was already asleep at his house. It freaked us out because we clearly heard it from his end of the call, but he didn't. Oh, that is so weird. That is so weird. So, like, do you think, like, okay, so you said it was everybody but uh one person. So do you think that the haunting came from his place and everyone just heard it, or vice versa? Oh, my YouTube account. Hi, Sarah. Sorry. Stephanie Strange. So the same as my username. So if you go to like my bio and you click on the little like logo, it looks like an Instagram logo, I believe. It should do like a drop down and there's like YouTube or Instagram. But it's like Stephanie, like the way it's spelled on here, Stephanie Strange. You'll find it. If not, I can try to type it in here as well. What did YouTube upload the VHS of the ring? Wait, I think they did. I think they did. Yeah, I think there was like a VHS thing they uploaded or something like that. How would they know if that was actually a ghost? Could just be a dream and have, yeah, it could. Definitely, definitely. Okay, so this one says, anyone out there that works in cemeteries ever had something follow them home? Oh, this is gonna get me down a whole path of like conversation. Okay, okay. Anyone out there that works in cemeteries ever had something follow them? I make headstones for a living and I set them in cemeteries, and I've been having weird dreams or weird things happen in my house. And I'm just trying to see if anyone else has ever lived somewhere and have no problems until they started frequent cemeteries, doing any kind of work like mowing the yard or sitting handstones or whatever, and then started having weird things happen at their house. Oh my God. What are our thoughts on this? Because before I read the comment section, I just want to quickly say that like I know that people I know that people like are freaked out by cemeteries and they don't like to see, or like they don't like to go to cemeteries for that reason. And I've also like done a investigation with two Navajo indigenous people, and they also mentioned that like their belief is to like you shouldn't go to cemeteries, and if you ever do, you want to like walk a certain direction and then walk the opposite of, like, don't retrace your steps basically, so like you can confuse the spirits and they don't follow you back. I have heard of that. I've also heard of that in some cultures in Latin America say the same thing about like cemetery etiquette, and then like before you leave you should always do set an offering so you don't upset them and they don't follow you. I've heard of that as well. So if anyone has any thoughts on that, please sound off because I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Um, okay, so you should go on a tour. I would totally go. Yeah. So I didn't do the live when I went to Boot Hill Cemetery in Tombstone, because it was really dark. But if I ever find a way that I can do like night mode on a live, I would totally do it. Um, so yeah, okay, let's see what people are saying. So the road I grew up on, so this is what they said. There's like a commenter. The road I grew up on has an old, small wooden church built in the the late 1700s with a small cemetery, graves from when the church was built all the way to today. Still regularly holding funerals and burials in the cemetery for locals. My friends and I grew up playing there, hanging out there late night meetings, and taking care of the place, cleaning up the graves, mowing, and so forth. Drinking as teens or partaking in substances, and none of us ever brought anything home. But honestly, we all felt such peace there. Even as kids, it was just a safe place to hang out because our road is all woods and dark, and the cemetery is open land surrounded by woods and a street light out front in the road. So at night, we could just hang out in pathways between the plots. It was like the residents protected us because we were their kids too, since we lived there. I know it sounds really weird. Okay, I love this because it's true. I feel like Bye, Sarah. Thanks for joining. Um, okay, I really feel like cemeteries are peaceful. Like I've been to some very awesome cemeteries that just feel so nice. Um, I really like going to like the Hollywood Forever Cemetery. If you guys are ever in LA, please check it out. And here are a couple of reasons why you should. They have movie nights there. They have a gift shop. They have a little patio you can hang out. They have a little turtle pond. I think they have like peacocks too that like roam the cemetery, and then they also have like a little thing for like stray cats. So there's all kinds of stuff that you can do. Um so that's my I feel like if I was a spirit, I wouldn't haunt a cemetery where like no one can visit me. If I was a spirit, I would probably haunt like a house or a place that has a lot more sentimental value and that brings me joy than to hang out in a cemetery that's going to make me feel sad. That's just my take on it. Not to say that cemeteries can't be haunted, because I recently posted a video when my husband and I went to Tombstone and we did that whole investigation. And there was a spirit that was challenging one of us to a fight. And that's like a whole thing that was explained in the video. But I do want to do a full on YouTube video on that because I have so much footage from Tombstone. So, yeah, all that fun stuff. All right, let's see what else someone said. Someone says they've worked in cemeteries and death care their whole life, family business and all, and they'd never experienced anything strange or paranormal. Um, let's see. What I just said, like 4 people downvoted it. Okay. Well, anyway, I've spoken to spirits and they say otherwise, so I don't know. But yeah, so no other stories though. Bummer. Okay. Well, that was hopefully this conversation grows on the thread. Okay. Let's see. Apparition walks across library. She passed away about a week prior. What are we seeing here? But this is like 2018. Did they put the timestamp on here? Oh, okay. So there's like one of those orb ones. Right? Oh, I don't know. I don't see anything. Yes, poetic equation. They did. Oh, thank you, Lily. You're so kind. Oh my god, you guys are so nice. Are we seeing anything? Do we not see? I don't think there's anything. I don't think there's anything. Okay, now they're zooming in. What are we seeing? I don't see anything. I don't know. I'm not a fan. I'm not a really big fan of these like orb ones, to be honest with you. I'll pause it because if it doesn't. Okay. Okay. Yes. So yeah, I know there's like a video playing, but what I was gonna say is when we went to Boot Hill Cemetery, there was these 2 Navajo indigenous brothers, and for context, one of the brothers does a lot of spiritual work. So he like he's basically like somebody that like oversees one of the sacred mountains in Flagstaff, I believe, in his tribe. And in addition to that, he's like the equivalent of like what you would call like an exorcist. And so because of like his spiritual work and like the level where he's at, there are spirits that like try to like challenge him to things or like try to make him feel threatened. And there's like, yeah, there's a whole video on it. It was really crazy. Very insidious of me. um yeah, I don't like the orb ones. They're not my favorite, if I'm being completely honest. Wait, what was this? It has a lot of upvotes. So, what are we seeing? Oh, they're hearing something.
What the fuck that noise is, but it keeps happening.
Do you hear that?
Ooh, no.
I mean, it could be like, okay, I don't know. It could be that is interesting. I'm not going to dismiss it, but that also like it sounds like it's coming from the window, and it could be like, what if they have the neighbor is like having a party or something? I don't know. That one's hard to say. Okay. This one has a lot of upvotes too. So this one is called I Now Believe in Ghosts Because of My Baby. I am new to Reddit, just trying to seek answers. My daughter is 23 months old and just proved to me exists. 2 nights in a row, my wife and I were reading a book to our daughter before bedtime. I need a swig of water. Okay. Let's see. While reading, she looks into our closet and starts saying, "Cat, hi, cat," while waving. First night, we ignore it and get her back to the book. The second night, we play along. What's the name of the cat? She answers as clear as day, Babsy. Persian name sounds like Bubsy. Oh, Bubsy. My wife and I lose it, chills and hair standing up. My wife's cat died before she was born. She was killed by coyotes. My wife had her for 15 years and loved that cat. She never mentioned a word about the cat or showed a picture or anything to our daughter her entire life. After we lose it a bit, freaked out, our daughter looks back at the closet and says, "Cat scared, he went bye-bye." I've never in my life been so freaked out. My daughter can barely say her name. She said my wife's uncommon cat name clearly and confidently, like she knew and could see this cat sitting right there in the closet. I hope someone can relate to this story because I've never in my life experienced something like this. Dang. Dang, that's a good one. That one we can upvote that one. That one's a good one. Hi Jamie, or is it hi Mayor Jamie? Hi Mayor Jamie. I don't know. um, so that was a good one. You know, it's interesting because someone can say, "Oh, like if that cat was there for 15 years, why wouldn't their daughter know?" Here's the thing. I don't know about you guys, but I had a cat that died. She was 15 years old. This was like right before 2020, and I was devastated. Like you guys, when I say devastated, I like my husband called me. I was actually subbing that day. I was subbing a first grade or kindergarten class. I was subbing and I was going to be a teacher, or I was going to school for that. And anyway, so my husband called me and told me the devastating news. I cried my butt off, you guys. Like I did not return to work. I was so devastated to the point that like when my husband said, "Do you want to see her before we she gets cremated?" I said, "No." I didn't see my cat, guys. I didn't see her in her passed away state. I couldn't do it. I couldn't. It was that devastating. I was sick for 3 months. And when we received her ashes and I bought her a little urn and everything, I left it in the office, did not enter the office room at all for months. And even till this day, her urn is like tucked away in her little bookcasing, not because I don't care. It's because of how devastated that made me feel. Like the idea of seeing any of that, I couldn't handle it. Like you would mention cats to me or senior cats, I bawl my eyes out. I was that sensitive for like over a year. And she said what her daughter was 23 months old. I didn't fully heal the death of my cat for like I think I finally got to a better place. I think it was like it was like it was about like almost a 2-year mark. It took me a long time though. So I would believe it. I really would. Oh, thank you, Ricky Main. Thank you for that. Yeah, so yeah, that's why it's like, okay, it's crazy that her daughter would know the name of the cat and everything. My husband also said that he would see the cat too. Like my cat's name was Moochie. Guys, I was like bawling my eyes out. Like I couldn't. It was yeah. So I believe them. That's just me. I believe them. Let's see. All right, this one is called "I Feel Unsafe in My Own Home and I Don't Know What to Do." Hi, this title is a bit weird, but this has been freaking me out for almost half a year and I feel the need to get this off my chest. There is something that has been watching me in my home and I don't know how to feel. I remember getting into spirits thanks to my friend who was into spiritual stuff and was trying out witchcraft, and I happened to get caught up in it. I remember her introducing me to my spirit guides and confirming I had more than one who I knew of. So I went out and got myself a pendulum so I could speak to her more often and get some advice every now and again. I got really into it, and eventually I would start to see her around my house, but there was nothing wrong with that. I started maybe about a month after she started appearing to me that I started hearing a male voice from any time between 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. I ignored him at first, thinking it was my imagination, but eventually I started indulging myself in it and started conversing with him through my pendulum. I found out that his name was Shirley and he was fairly nice and claimed to be another one of my spirit guides. I didn't question it as I felt drawn to him in the same way I was drawn to my first spirit guide. I forgot to mention her name is Guider. I eventually told my friend about this and she warned me to be careful, but never outright. She said he had malicious intentions. Being a bit naive in the situation, yes, I know this was stupid, but I was enamored by him almost like Almost like I was in a trance, I allowed him to touch me. He claimed he loved me and I thought nothing of it, and told my friend. This is where I really should have been concerned since she told my spirit guides she told me spirit guides shouldn't fall in love with the one they are to protect. But I ignored her and nothing really happened. I continued to talk to him like normal until one night I remember it was 12:30 and I was laying in bed and I felt something watching me, which I have gotten used to by now and tried to ignore it until I felt a sensation on my neck, back, and waist, like someone had grabbed me and tried to spoon me. I immediately got up and went to my pendulum and contacted Shirley asking if that was him, and he confirmed my suspicion. Now, I didn't sleep that night. I eventually got a glimpse of him as I was going downstairs to try and get a drink, and I saw an all black figure crouched behind my sofa. Oh my god, you guys, I like lost it because that was scary. He looked like the Rake if I were to compare his body to anything, except he was all black with white eyes. I was too scared to even go downstairs. I think it started to get even worse when my friend called me up saying Guider was in the corner of her room and not with me. I was a bit scared and started talking to him, trying to understand what was going on until my friend told me to stop talking to him and wait until she came over that weekend. I didn't talk to him at all, and at the weekend she performed an exorcism on a necklace I wore as she sensed he had latched himself onto that, and everything went smoothly and I felt safe. Up until 4 months ago, I started hearing knocking at my front door every night, and I seemed to be the only one who could hear it. I spoke to my friend, and she came over and admitted she could hear it as well. I don't know what to do. The knocking feels like it's taunting me while I constantly feel like I'm being watched. It's making me insanely paranoid. I don't know what to do, and a few nights ago, I saw a black figure in the corner of my room. I felt a wave of immense anger, and I just broke down into tears. I'm scared. I don't know what to do. I spoke with people on Witchcraft subreddit, and they claimed it was shadow people. But I know for a fact it was not. I just need some advice. I feel like I'm going crazy. I'm so sorry. This is long. I'm going to upvote that. You know what's something that I feel like not many people talk about? I feel like not many people talk about like succubus or incubus spirits, because that is a thing, and I did do a whole thing on that a while ago. Maybe I should redo a whole YouTube video on that, because I think that people will assume that like, oh, you know, I was intimate with this, because we've heard stories of like people saying that they've allegedly been intimate with spirits without realizing that there's a whole thing on it. Yeah, fun stuff. Yeah, this is a paranormal account. Okay, so there's this whole thing on it. So yeah, fun stuff. Fun stuff. We're upvoting it. All right. Oh yeah, the whole Kim Kardashian thing. Can we talk about this? The whole Kim Kardashian thing. What has anyone seen this? The Instagram thread with like her taking a selfie and there's like something behind her, or she feels like something's behind her. Kaylin. Okay, so let's talk about that. So Kim Kardashian posted a picture on her Instagram, and she's wearing like what looks to be like a pink dress, and like she's facing what could be like either a mirror or something, right? Now, yeah, oh, sorry, did this freeze? There we go. Okay. It was very weird. Lisa or Lisa. Sorry, I apologize if I missay that. Okay. I did a TikTok on it, but also like you can check out her Instagram too, and like there's a whole thing on it. So, and of course, if you're on my YouTube, you're seeing the post right now. And so there's this whole thing on it. So she feels, I think, what did she say? Let me read the caption. She said, so I took this picture last week when I was alone, and now going through my phone, I'm freaking out noticing a woman in the window. Now, some people think that it could be her reflection. I don't know. It doesn't feel like that would be a reflection, because I don't know if it would be going that way. It's tough to say. Also, the shape is very different. Now, here's a couple of other things though. Um, now, um, excuse me, there's like a thing here. Okay. Now, I've also know that Kim Kardashian has hired people to like take her selfies. Like there's literally a whole thing on it. Remember that episode? There was like an episode where like she was showing people that she hired someone to take her selfies, and like I think she continued that service or continued to have somebody taking her pictures. And then she also is going to be on season 12's American Horror Story. And so part of me is like, I feel like they're really good. I will say this, the Kardashians are just so good at marketing and being tactful on things and all of that. However, when I was being messaged by a mutual friend of mine, they described the photo and I received a download and I received male energy to it. Some people also think that this could be Marilyn Monroe. It does not look anything like Marilyn Monroe's silhouette at all. Also, Kim Kardashian doesn't have anything of Marilyn Monroe, from my understanding. Like the dress that she wore at the Met Gala, that was given back to Ripley's. Like that's not with her. And so there's like this whole thing on it, right? I do think though, I have been told by somebody, this is all alleged, and we take it with like a grain of salt, less than a grain of salt when I say this. But there's somebody I know that apparently at one point in their lives had been talking to a security guard that I guess like worked at one of their houses or something like that. And there's this whole thing on like the guard was saying that the house was haunted, but they were not going to be open about that or something like that. Take it with a grain of salt because who knows how truth this is. It's like playing telephone. You heard someone say it. It's so alleged. Who knows? Thank you, Rory. And again, if you're on my YouTube, you can see all of this stuff. Everything that I'm talking about and reading is all on my YouTube side. So if you want to check it out, feel free. If not, no worries. But yeah, so for some reason, I kind of felt the essence and like energy of a spirit of a guy. There's like a male energy there. Don't know if that's like in the picture or not, but that was like the first thing I received, like the first thing I got. My YouTube, so it's how it's spelled, Stephanie, Steffany, Strange. You'll be able to find me on there. It's also in my bio if you want to check that out. And yeah, so that's what I was getting. Now the other thing is we all know also that the like Kardashians definitely dabble in the occult. Like in the show they've had people be readers and healers and all this stuff. Like they're been open about that. Kim Kardashian has also talked about how she believes that one of her sons is like her dad's reincarnation. So I'm not surprised if they're open about that, like if they would feel hauntings or anything like that. Yeah, it could be her deceased. I feel like it's somebody else, but yeah, it could be also her deceased dad. I mean, I'm not around her enough to know, and like I will say my strength suit isn't always like photograph energy. Some people are really good at it. That's not my strength suit. So hi Adrian. Oh, you're so sweet. Thanks for all the love that you're sending. Thank you. So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. But that's just like what I received. I will be doing a live with my mutual, I believe on TikTok. I have to ask her. But she does tarot. She does witchcraft. She is a priestess, and I'm excited to talk to her about this. So yeah, that's like a quick little thing on that. Shall I read one more? I'm just gonna upvote it. I'm upvoting everything that I read. So oh yeah, some people were saying that it looks like an alien. Like, come on. That does not look like an alien. Come on. The other thing that I find kind of interesting if I zoom in, it looks like if you look at the photo. So I also used to be a photographer. I know sometimes reflections can be kind of like distorted and warped. You see how it bends this way? Wouldn't this be more bended? Like, or yeah, wouldn't there be like a bend? And then also like when when people try to like layer things, there's sometimes like this fuzzy. I mean, I can't zoom in more on here, but there's also that. I don't know. It's tough to say. So Brenda asks, "Do I see ghosts and apparitions or manifestations?" Yes. Okay. So I do a psychic development circle here in LA, and I mostly like receive so many downloads. So I'm clairsentient. I just know things. It's really weird. My husband sees things for sure. Like he's definitely seen things. I will see things, but it's like let's see. I would say that I hear things and I see symbolisms and I just receive downloads of things, like just knowing things. It's kind of really creepy because sometimes like, how did I receive this download? Like that's so weird. I will see at least like one or two things like in physical form. Oh my God, it is rare, but I have seen a couple of things in my lifetime. Um, oh gosh, I have to think about that more because I'm like, how often? I know I've seen a couple of things. It's rare, but I've seen a couple of things. Let's put it that way. My husband sees more things though, for sure, like more naturally. Hi, Dyslexic Duck. We're live on YouTube if you want to check out my YouTube. If not, no worries. Yeah, I hear and feel things more. So like this one time, okay, here's a fun story. So when I was moving in, I had moved out of my apartment and I was going through like a breakup. I had moved into one of my really good friends' apartment. I was crashing on their couch. And I had not done a tour at this apartment complex. It wasn't even like it wasn't like a brand new building either. It wasn't anything like that. Because sometimes when you live in an apartment that's like commercialized, people have like a gym, a pool, like a little like community area, right? This didn't have that. It just had like the lobby, the stairs, and like, you can go wherever. Well, anyway, so I remember that like one day I had gotten home. I was living there now and something told me to go to the basement. Now, at the time, I wanted a place where I can like hang out, study because I was in college. The apartment was kind of cramped. I was crashing on the couch. My friend had a one bedroom, well, technically a two-bedroom apartment, but one of the rooms was like his gaming office area. And like, I didn't want to like bother them. So when I walked into the lobby, something told me to go to the basement. I went downstairs and I just like knew where to go. I just like immediately just knew where to go. And then I found like this like library with like books and like beanbag chairs, computers. It was like it was weird. I just knew where to go down there. It was, I don't know. Um might have to make an appearance there. Yeah, if you want to, feel free. If not, no worries. You'll see the Kim Kardashian photo that we're talking about. How did I train myself? Hi, Super Cat. Okay, so how did I train myself? Okay, so what had happened is in 2011, I had met this woman who was also a psychic medium. She was also indigenous, and she had told me that I have always felt and seen things, but I had suppressed it, and and she did a cleansing on me. We did all these things. Hi, dyslexic. Oh, Super Cat, you're dyslexic dog. Hi. And so she did a cleansing. I started going to her house. I started like opening up myself to it, but it wasn't enough. So I went on meetup.com, and I'm not even like sponsored by meetup.com. Like this is not a sponsor, nothing. But I went to meetup.com. And if you don't know what that is, it's literally like kind of like think of it as like Facebook groups. Like so there's literally groups where people come up with interests. So like they have like a board game meetup. So a bunch of people will go to like a coffee shop and play board games. If you want to take up hiking but you have no one to go with, there's like groups for people that go hiking after work or something. And then like you all go hiking. There's like a pride group, yoga, whatever. You get the point here. It's like a club basically of like things to join and like find interests. So meetup.com, I was like on Google search trying to find something to do and like really push myself with my psychic abilities. At the time, I considered myself a psychic, not a medium. And so I found this psychic development group on meetup.com in Denver. And I started joining. I started sitting down in these circles. and I started just sitting there watching people read each other and practice and like really just like learning like what that was like. Um, and so then fast forward, I did a certification class. I had another mentor who did like Santeria stuff, and she kind of explained to me her belief system and all this stuff. So I've had mentors along the way. I always recommend people like if you are gonna really push yourself intuitively, really look at like your local community. In my case, I did meetup.com, but there's always like shops, you know what I mean? Like there's shops that are in the occult that you can meet specialists there, like Botanica cult shops, you know, crystal shops. They will always have like local things going on. They also have like psychic spiritual fairs in every town. When I moved from Denver to here in this part of like the LA County area where I'm at, um, I found a shop too. They had like a PJ paranormal party going on that me and my husband went to. So yeah, I think I never recommend people to yes, do some Googling, but really like go out to your community and talk to like practitioners in your local community. Of course, if they start talking about like fear-basing things like curses and not all that jazz, no, that's fake. If someone is like trying to hound you for like gobs of money, that's just not reasonable. And they're trying to like scare you with like curses and stuff. No, that's not, don't do that. Don't. Usually the people that you know that are like there to teach and like be in a community are always going to be positive. That's just my take on it. Yeah, Denver has like the largest psychic development group. It's led by Charles Cox, COX, meetup.com. He also has, I think, an Instagram as well or Twitter. Even if you just search for him, like Psychic Development Group Denver Charles, you'll find him on there if you're in the Denver area. But yeah, there's so many amazing people that in your local community, I promise. So yeah, that's like, I know it's like a long answer, but for me, it's like you have to, practicing is the best thing. Did you ever read books on the type of stuff that helped? Yeah, so I have this called, oops, it just fell on the floor actually when I was turning my lights on. So it is, this one is called Build Your Psychic Skills. And it's like a 90-day plan. So there's like little, like this was I bought this in Denver in a cult shop. So cult shops are like where people sell like candles, crystals, people that use things for like witchcraft or spiritual practices of some sort. But usually they have really good books and recommendations. I have this one. There's a couple of other books as well. Oh yeah, there's this one that I really recommend too. But again, I always recommend that you talk to someone in your community because like Solitary Seance is another one that I really love. I wish. I have no one to play D&D with. I wish. I'm not cool enough to get invited to D&D games. I totally would though. Yes, I would. But I don't know enough about it. So yeah, hopefully that helps, Brenda. But yeah, I always recommend that you look at some of these things, talk to somebody, and it's just always nice talking to like a real person and just seeing like what their journey was like. Most of the time, these are always going to be like, again, it's always nice to have that community, is what I'm saying. When they try to sell you charms to protect you, yeah, it's like all kinds of crazy things. So like, just be careful, of course. But in a nutshell, if they're trying to oversell you on something, nah, I promise you, it's not worth it. Don't. They're not. Okay, so this one time I did go to a Botanica. My mom wanted to get herself like a bracelet that had because she has like some spiritual beliefs on it too. It's like not the evil eye, but it's like a bracelet that she wanted. And the lady was like telling her she was gonna die and all, like when she was gonna die, like all kinds of crazy fear-based stuff. And I was so upset. I'm like, ma'am, you're not. This is not it. This is not the vibe. The top one is selling subscription for protection. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff that you do see online too. So just be careful. Yeah, I know. But yeah, so like that's would be Meetup. So like if you go to meetup.com, it's also an app. There's like an app, of course. Meetup.com has like a whole board. If you want to join like a D&D, I remember this one time me and my husband were gonna take up D&D, but we were so busy. There was like a meetup for people that wanted to play D&D, and they had like a whole Discord channel and everything. We just didn't get into it. Thank you for the share. Thank you. But yeah, so I'm at the hour. It is getting late, but if you guys, I really appreciate you guys so much on the YouTube side. Like seriously, thank you so much. Really, I can't. I really, you guys are amazing. I love you guys. You guys are so awesome. Also on TikTok, you guys are also so amazing. Like seriously, I really appreciate you guys being on my live and having these conversations with me. And I am pushing more on like the YouTube side of things because I'm hoping to do more watch parties. Plus, the lives just seem a lot better on YouTube, if I'm being honest. Like the camera, I can share things with you on there a lot more. Want to do like watch parties and everything. And Brenda says, on a totally different topic, I love the red dress you wore in one of your recent. Thank you. Yeah. So thank you for mentioning that, Brenda. So I took these pictures. I took like these like headshot pictures just because like I no longer have the blue bangs, and I realized that I just haven't taken any nice pictures in a very, very long time. And I officially like needed headshots because I'm now being represented. Oh my god, crazy to say that. I'm being represented. So they're like, hey, can you send like screenshot or headshots? And I'm like, I have no headshots. And I meant to schedule a photo shoot. I just don't like taking pictures of myself. I really don't. And I am a photographer. I used to do photography. Fun fact, I was a cosplay photographer for such a long time. I loved taking photos. I also did wedding photography for a little bit. And yeah, I just, I started getting into the whole TikTok thing and then making content and like doing short form producing. So for like a company and being a narrator, it took on a lot. And so I was like, okay, it's time for new photos, I guess. And I'm like so self-conscious. When I take photos, I'm so self-conscious. Like you have no idea. I'm like, don't take a picture of me. Yeah, I just don't know how to pose. Like I know how to pose people, but I don't know how to pose myself. But where did you get the dress? I never see anything like those at stores. Okay, I think I got that dress. I think if you look up like velvet dress on Amazon, you might be able to find some of those. But the material is velvet, like maroon red velvet dresses. I love velvet. I even have like velvet shoes. Yes, you're right. You can't find velvet clothes, and those are hidden gems. All right. Well, I'm gonna head out, you guys. I know I'm so sorry. I keep saying I'm gonna go, and then I'm like blah 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 blah. Okay. Thank you. I really appreciate you guys. You guys are so amazing. Seriously, I can't thank you guys enough. All right. Bye. Have a good night. And stay spooky, you guys. I'm gonna end it on TikTok first and then here. Bye.